for those who are salaried, for those who are on a payslip, how is life taking you? How are things? Talk to me. How are you managing, rather? Yeah? With the statutory deductions or with the regulatory quote unquote pay cuts. Yeah? The deductions, this ShaH, the ShiF, the NSSF, whatever, all those deductions that there are on your payslip. How are you managing? In this video, I would like us to go through how to manage or how to go about a salary deduction or a pay cut. I'm calling this a pay cut because when these statutory deductions are made on your payslip, your take-home salary is naturally going to reduce. It has reduced. But before we delve further into the video, please press the subscribe button on your screen so that you can be able to see whenever I upload videos, and also click on the notification bell. Please also give me a thumbs up or a like for the video, and let me know in the comment section how you are managing or how you are going about these statutory pay cuts or the statutory deductions, how you are managing. Now, like I've told you, in this video we are going to be discussing about how to manage a pay cut. Yeah, during COVID time, some companies, some employers did not want to send their staff home, even though their businesses were struggling. Yeah, so they offered a pay cut to their employees, which in my opinion was actually better than retrenching staff or sending staff home. So you need to, for those who had the pay cut, they had to shrink their expenses and fit into this reduced salary or into their revised or to the lower disposable income. And that is what we are going to be discussing in this video. How would you manage a pay cut? If you've ever had a pay cut, if your salary has ever been slashed into half or by whatever percentage that was, especially during COVID time, how did you manage? Did you have to move houses? Did you have to sell your car? Did you have to change schools for your children? Or did you have debt suddenly? Did you find yourself sinking and drowning in debt suddenly because you had to borrow to fill in the gap of the reduced disposable income or of your reduced salary? Please share with us in the comment section. Or if you know anybody, a friend, a relative, or anybody else who had a pay cut and you know how they managed, please share with us in the comment section so that we can also learn from you. Now, if you are salaried and you have a pay cut, most salaried people or some salaried people have loans. That will be one best place to manage your pay cut. In your ultimate net salary has reduced by 5,000 shillings, you can request your lender, your banker, or your circle to restructure your debt, your loan with them, so that you pay within a slightly longer duration of time and you'll have less installment. Your installment amount will shrink. Why is it beneficial to you when you have less installments? It means that if you're initially paying an installment amount of 17,000 and now you are paying an installment amount of 14,000 or of 13,000 shillings, because your repayment period has been extended slightly longer, you are going to be left with a little more. The difference between the 17 and the 13,000 shillings, which is 4K, you're going to have 4K to use at your disposal. Now, this 4K will be a good compensation to what you'll have to the amount that has been deducted from you for the ShaH and ShiF. As far as your monthly budgeting is concerned, that loan relief, the cash flow relief that you're getting from your lender by reducing your installment amount from 17 to 13,000, this 4,000 shillings is enough to compensate you, to give you a budgetary compensation on your reduction of your net pay from 75 to 70k, hypothetically, yeah? So restructuring your loan is one way of managing. Now, another way of managing is through cutting down your expenditures. The fixed expenditures like rent. You can reduce your rent, move into a cheaper house. If you are paying 25,000 shillings, get a house worth 20k within the same social class. If you are paying 70k, get a house worth 50k or worth 60k within the same social class. You might have to change the estates, but you can always find a cheaper house within the same living standards. You don't necessarily have to cut down, lower your living standards, but you can always find a cheaper house which will still serve you the same purpose. So cutting down on your fixed expenses is another thing. You can also cut down on your variable expenses. You can carpool with your neighbors to work. You can carpool as you drop your kids to school. Yeah? To cut down on fuel or to cut down on their school bus expense. You can pack food for your child if the school allows, so you don't have to pay for school meals. If you are looking for ways of managing the reduction in your salary as a result of the statutory deductions, of the new statutory deductions, you can cut down on your expenditures, both variable and fixed expenses. But mostly, I advocate for managing your fixed expenses, because these variable expenses you can always vary them up or down. But the fixed expenses are fixed. So once you manage your fixed expenses, the variable is actually easier. All right? It's easier. Once you maintain, you're in charge of the fixed expenses, the variable expenses is easier to manage. So those are 3 ways of managing this reduction. Now, another thing that you can do is get a second source of revenue. Use your skills, the skills that you have, use them to get a second source of revenue. If you know how to cook, if you're a good cook, use that skill to generate another source of revenue. If you are a good photographer, use that skill to generate a source of revenue. If you know how to talk, or you're learning how to talk like Berlin, use that skill to generate an extra source of revenue. If you know how to sing, use that skill. Whatever skill that you have, use it to generate an extra source of revenue. But most important, the most important thing of them all is budgeting. Draw up a budget. The budget, if you've been budgeting already, of course, you certainly know you already know which areas you can be reducing on, whether it's on entertainment, on food, your school fees, your children's school fees. You already know which areas you can cut down on. But if you haven't been budgeting, this will be a perfect time for you to start budgeting. All right? Last but not least, you can negotiate with your employer. I know some employers have done that already. They have, some people are blessed. Some employers have adjusted their employee salary to shoulder them from these statutory deductions. Can you imagine? Some people are lucky. So if you're not amongst the lucky ones who have been shielded from these deductions by your employer, these are the other alternative means that you can use to cushion yourself from that pay cut, the statutory pay cut that we have in the country. How are you guys managing? How are you guys managing? Before I end the video, please don't forget to share with me how you are managing, or how you think we can manage the pay cuts, the statutory pay cut that we are experiencing. And my voice is still not at its best, but let's see you in the next video.